Hello, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Layla, and for today's video, I'm giving y'all a sabbatical prep update, month 3 out of 18. For month 3, that means I'm talking about what happened in December that is relevant to my finances and my sabbatical plan. I know that we're quite far into January already, and soon I'll be getting up a month 4 update, but I still want to give my update for December. If you don't know, I am currently planning to take a sabbatical / entrepreneurial trial, and this is about 18 months from now. So after March of 2025, I can link my original video in my description box. And when I actually go on this sabbatical, I do want this to be a time of rest and recovery, just because I have, I would say I'm quite burnout at this point. But also, this is an opportunity for me to take my business full time. So by business, I mean this YouTube channel that you're watching, the financial coaching that I offer, and then I also have, a couple of blogs. I have another YouTube channel, and there's even other business ventures that I at some point would probably try out. And I really just want to be prepared for that. So throughout this time, I am just continuing to build my business and then also save up money. But let's talk about December. So December overall was, as far as work goes and my mood around work, I feel like it was a little bit better. Things started picking up surprisingly at my job, and I think some of it was because usually toward the end of the year there's projects that we're trying to wrap up, but also because some of my work colleagues are out of the office and then I get to pick up stuff. I actually prefer when work is a little bit busier, because when we're light on work, then I feel like I'm kind of dragging through the day and it just makes it hard to hit my billable hours and stuff like that. So December was good overall, and because I had more time off, that obviously just makes everything a little bit easier. This year I didn't take any extra days off. Last December I traveled, my boyfriend and I traveled on Christmas Day, and we're out of the country for a week. This year didn't do that, stayed home. I didn't even take off any extra days, but I did get a 4-day weekend. So Christmas weekend I got Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday and Tuesday off. That was just a given from work. And then work was a little bit lighter that week too, of course. And then, of course, we go into New Year weekend where I get 3 days off. So that's always nice to get a couple of extra days off. But honestly, it did make things a little bit easier. I felt more, I think it's just holiday time in general. Things and people are more relaxed, so it doesn't feel as bad. But those days off aren't really what I would consider recuperating by any means, because it's a lot of time with family, a lot of time in the car. It is nice, but it's not oh, I get to sleep the whole day type of thing. So it was still quite busy, baking cookies and getting food together, spending time with family, which I did really enjoy. But I guess overall it was good though. I didn't feel as stressed or upset about work as I have in recent months. So one thing that did happen in December is that I opened a new credit card. The last time I opened a credit card was actually last December, so December 2022. That was the Capital One Venture X credit card, and I really like that one. But this time I opened Chase Sapphire Preferred. And I've wanted to open this one for a couple of years now, but there was one time that they were offering a 100,000 point bonus, and I missed that opportunity, or at the time it wasn't a good fit for me, because you have to spend quite a bit of money to get the bonus. You have to spend 4,000 in 3 months to get whatever bonus they're offering. I was hoping that they would offer that soon, but I never saw that come back around. So I was like, okay, let me just go ahead and do this. The plan was to purchase furniture with this card so I could get the bonus. And when I signed up, it was a 60,000 point bonus after spending, I think, 4,000 in 3 months. And those 60,000 points can be redeemed for $750 worth of travel. So if you book directly through Chase, which I've done multiple times at this point because of these cashback offers, then it's worth $750. This credit card does come with a $95 annual fee, but they give you credits throughout the year that kind of makes up for it. Plus getting this bonus is well worth it in my opinion. So far so good. I actually really like Chase credit cards. Well, the only other Chase credit card I have is my Chase Freedom Flex, and that's one of my favorites. But this one is very similar. They don't do the rotating 5% bonus categories, but on this one, let's see. They give you an annual credit of $50, hotel credit, $200 in partner value, 5x points on hotels and car rentals purchased through Chase, 2x points on all travel purchases, 3x on all dining. You can get 25% more on travel redemptions, and then there's quite a few other benefits, but this one stands out. 10% anniversary points boost. So you get like a 10% bonus on the points that you earned every year. So yeah, I mean, I probably won't use this card as much as I use my other Chase card and even some of my other cards, but happy that I got this because I get that $750 travel reward credit. I did actually already spend enough to get that bonus. That I actually hit that spend bonus in January because we bought something very expensive, but I'll talk about that purchase in my actual like January finance update, but I did already hit that, so now I have $750 worth and more than that actually to spend on travel. For now, I'm just going to hold that where it's at, and then, you know, when we book travel next, when I don't know when that will be, I will use this because that's the whole point. And then speaking of travel, my boyfriend and I did book travel for 2024, but we did that in December. This was like the first weekend of December, and it wasn't a last minute decision, but it was something we had talked about, and then we were like, okay, let's just look, and then once we looked, we were like, okay, let's just do it. And we booked a trip to Wyoming, specifically Jackson Hole, and this isn't till later in 2024, but we did buy our flights, and then we booked the Airbnb as well. The only thing left for us to book would be like our rental car, but we'll probably do that in the next few months. Not too worried about it because that's usually what we do. Like we always get the flight and where we're staying out of the way first, and then worry about the car a little bit later. I did apply for that Chase Sapphire Preferred credit card before booking this trip, but did not get the card in time in the mail in order to pay for it with the card. So I was a little bit bummed about that because I was like, that could help with the spending. There's also some cards that will allow you to spend a certain amount on the card without actually having the physical card, but that was not available with this one. But it ended up working out okay anyway because I booked through my other Chase card, and that got me, I think they give like 6x points, my Chase Freedom Flex card. You get extra, I think it's 5x or 6x on travel if you book through them. So I was still able to get extra points for booking everything. I'm very excited about that trip. I've talked a little bit about why we booked there and, you know, this whole explanation basically, but neither of us have been there. It's kind of the last place that we like really want to go to in the US. I have not been to all 50 states or anything. Like I would be open to going to other places, but more important to me is like traveling abroad and out of the US. But Wyoming has always been on both of our lists, so we really wanted to go there, and we're going like toward the end of the summer, so it should be good weather-wise. And there's just like a lot of hiking, going to the national parks and stuff. And I also have a coworker slash friend who lives, so we're staying in Idaho, just because staying in Jackson Hole, it's pretty hard to find Airbnbs there, and then it's also very expensive. But Idaho is just like, you know, a 30-minute drive to Jackson Hole and to like Grand Teton, I think it's how you say it. But also have a friend who is like a few minutes from our Airbnb, so that's cool. She can show us around Idaho. So yeah, I'm very excited. The other thing too is that this is probably one of the only trips that we're taking in 2024. I mean, honestly, knowing us, we'll book something else. We'll do something else just because sometimes we're like, hey, let's do it, like F it type of thing. But we're not usually too crazy or spontaneous with those things. We do try to plan things out. But you know those times where you're like, I really want to take a trip. Like we need to plan a trip because you want something to look forward to. We both really enjoy traveling, so who knows? But as of right now, that's really like the main trip that we're taking. And that's good because y'all know that I want to save for travel and have like a solid sinking fund, $5,000 of a travel sinking fund, so that I can book trips, continue booking trips when I do take my business full time and not have to like stress about my earnings or feel bad about spending on those things. So yeah, should be good because it'll allow me to save a little bit of money. And then speaking of that sinking fund, everything is flowing very nicely. So before December and even at the beginning of December, I was really set on saving in a sabbatical sinking fund. So in my Marcus by Goldman Sachs high yield savings account, I literally had a sinking fund or a savings account labeled Sabbatical. And my goal for that account was to reach $36,000, so save up that amount over the next 18 months, or back when I started this journey. So then when I took my sabbatical, I would feel more comfortable, just like knowing I had a huge cushion chilling there if I needed it. But something I said in my original video was that I would not want to touch that money. Like, I just want it there. And ideally, I would just be living off of my business income and my extra income, you know? So I'm not going to be pulling from my savings at all. That's really what I would prefer to do. So then I was like, what is the point of that? I know it's like a safety cushion, but then I was thinking it would probably be better for me to actually create savings goals and sinking funds for specific things that I want to pay for when I do take my sabbatical. So that was in December is when I decided to make that change. I did continue saving in this sabbatical sinking fund throughout December, but y'all know that come January, I started putting it toward specific goals. So that would be like my beauty sinking fund, travel sinking fund. I do want to bulk up my emergency fund a little bit, a business sinking fund so that I just have some cash stashed away. So if I need to pay for any business stuff, then I can pull from that. And then once I finish those, I will see where to go from there. But I really like that because instead of me being like, oh, I told myself I wouldn't touch this money and having to like stress about it in case I do need funds to pull from, I know that that's what it's set aside for. You know, it's kind of like because I really love having sinking funds. Like, they're the best thing. I talk about this all the time. Like, because I have a gift sinking fund, whenever I purchase gifts, it's like, oh yeah, that's fine. I'll just replenish it from my sinking fund. Same with car maintenance. I don't stress about having to get car maintenance because I have the money saved for that, and that's what it is there for. So when you have money delegated to something specifically, it feels a lot better spending money in that area. Like, obviously you don't want to go crazy, but it's just a different peace of mind, and I think that would work better for me for this whole sabbatical thing. So yeah, that's really it as far as December goes. I try to keep up with everything. Like, if something happens in the month that's related to my finances or this journey, then I jot it down, and that was everything that I wrote down. Like I said, January is almost over, so I'll be giving an update for January or month 4 very soon. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one.